To that note, bit of a switch here, but yeah, considering the previous categories, best view, best match, best live show, best wrestler, I think that all feeds into the next one, which is another one of the big ones, best promotion. Matty's been looking forward to this.
I mean, can I just go first? It's WWE. I don't need to say any more than I've said all fucking show. So WWE, as I say, just to keep it short, the first 8 months, incredible stuff. Bit of a dip since the last 4 months, but they're trying to get new people over for next year. They're setting new, they've got like placeholder feuds going on at the minute till you get to the Royal Rumble. So you can kind of see why they're doing that as well, saving all the big stuff for Rumble into Mania. So, and as I say, they're trying to get new people over on the TV. So, that it is what it is. But that first 8 months, TV, pay-per-views especially, genuinely some of the best stuff they've done in I don't know how long. So that's my pick.
Fuck's sake.
Look at everybody, I'm loving this. I reckon one of you is going to agree, and I know he's going to agree.
I'll talk you through my thought process because I'm not settled yet. Like, I don't want to say any of the names that are obvious because I don't want to say AEW, to be honest. Like, I think you can make the argument, and I wonder whether JP or Gareth might, just because of the strength of the pay-per-views. Like, as Tony Khan, again, will say himself over and over again, as a promotion, had the pay-per-view run that good before, when you look through that summer, it's hard to beat it. They also did have, that absolute shit show, which was the MJF-led Full Gear this year. But outside of that, like, wins for pay-per-views all round. But the TV, in its entire existence, I've never been as invested in AEW. But then this is what I mean. I'm giving you my working out loud. The matches on the TV at times, as we always say, JP, best wrestlers in the world, throw them out there with any fucking combination, and you're gonna strike gold every now and again. And he's still got that in him. He's still, I'd always argue Tony Khan's a much better matchmaker than he is Booker or storyteller or whatever word you want to use that isn't sports entertainment.
That's easy, isn't it? We can all do that.
It hasn't happened in history. So I think he does deserve some credit, and he deserves some credit for work, because this is the thing. This best promotion award is also really best booker, because if we do a best booker award, we're all going to say whatever we said for promotion. So it's kind of like, it's Triple H and WWE versus Tony Khan and AEW, unless you want to go rogue and JP wants to say All Japan, which I've seen a few people say, or MLW, the chatter in there in unison throwing out there, but. It's hard because as far as having the shit together, I don't want to say it, but I don't think Matty's far wrong. I don't think the hits have been as high when it comes to the pay-per-views, but they have had, at least in the first half of the year, a sneaky good pay-per-view year. I wanted to mention it when we talked show of the year. Like, just, it wasn't maybe not a bell to bell, but like that Puerto Rico backlash, like that's a great memory for me from this year. How fucking fun was that show? The 2 Mania nights were very good. The Rumble with the Sami Zayn, stuff was fucking great. And speaking of Sami Zayn, the Montreal show was fucking great as well. Like that first half of the year, Jesus Christ, you want to talk big moments, decent enough matches for WWE, but just overall well told, well executed stuff. They do deserve some credit, and they've got their ducks in a row. And as me and JP keep saying, it's competent, if nothing else. Doesn't light my world on fire the week-to-week Raw SmackDown, apart from when Phil's knocking around. But like, I can't say it's badly booked. It's probably the best book promotion this year.
Just say it. Say it outright. Get on the spreadsheet, Benno. Just say it. Come on.
Talk me out of it, guys. Please help. I need it. I can't say it. I don't want to say it.
I can't talk you out of it, Benno. Like, it's I've just got a blank here on my sheet of paper with my promotion of the year here, because I'm like, my wrestling watching has been more narrow this year. I can't in good faith say AEW is the promotion of the year, despite those good matches, despite those good pay-per-views, because they nearly stopped me watching wrestling for in the mid part of the year. I was so down on it, how shit the TV was week to week, how bad the booking was and things like that. It just like, I didn't want to watch it every week. So how can that be promotion of the year? Like, and then I go like, okay, well, if I'm picking a promotion of the year to be a best promotion of the year, there's got to be those business metrics in there, haven't they? And they've just been fucking tanking TV viewers as well and things like that. So I'm not the only one who was feeling like that either. Whereas, even though it hasn't been a good enough promotion of the year to make me watch it, you know, you've just got to look at the business metrics, and WWE has been the promotion of the year based on money, TV ratings, TV growth, and things like that. You know, people have clearly been investing, like in the stories and things. You know, people have been wanting to watch the product, so it has to be better because that's it going up when there's red arrows going down for AEW, and like.
They've got the business argument, they do.
A sad fact. Sad fact. But it's still not even that good that you can throw CM Punk out there and make me want to watch, because I don't even want to watch that. So like there you go. So it's not that good. So it's not promotion of the year by my brain, just by a spreadsheet.
So we keep saying JP spreadsheet, but it's a great game of TW. He's fucking completed it, mate. Paul Levesque, what a player.
He has. I mean, and again, come back to a comment earlier on in the chat, which is this is the year the Empire struck back, and my God, they did. And they had their ducks. They went on a run that they haven't been on in the last 20 years in terms of delivering on big shows. I'm going to say things that are going to sound inherently contradictory, because I think, like you mentioned, AEW have these sporadic big shows this year in the main, although they are starting to do them now monthly, which is probably weirdly going to help them given the amount of good wrestling they have. But what AEW would, in between those, you'd be filled with TV that just left me disappointed and thinking you could be doing so much better. And that's why, in all good conscience, I couldn't go with them, because they're not just a pay-per-view company. They're which in many ways kind of WWE to me is. And so I don't watch the TV, but they do these shows every month. And because we do a podcast, we tend to review them. And it was just like every month going, that was a good show. That was perfectly fine. It was generally enjoyable. You know, the Rumble was, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania nights 1 and 2, leading into Backlash, which I just fucking loved, like the feeling for that as much as anything else. Even the Saudi shows were all like were kind of like they were in the main. They were different, but they were a lot better than what they had been. Obviously, there as well. Money in the Bank. Just the atmosphere, knowing that you guys are, knowing that Matty was there for that as well, and seeing the culmination of all of that, it was hard to argue away from it. And anytime you watched, because they're such a slick product, every time you watch those video packages, it's like, well, I'm quite glad I don't watch the TV, because they kind of nicely surmised it to me. And it was just like, yeah, this is generally in the main pretty good wrestling, and it wasn't as haphazard as AEW, which is all over the place. And in terms of all the other promotions, there wasn't like, I went for Stardom last year, and Stardom had a bit of a disaster in 2023. Like, you know, there's not really a business argument. It's kind of stalled, if not gone down. Bit of an injury crisis as well. Feeling very much like what Brighton could end up being this year in the Premier League, but I digress. You know, All Japan have had a good year, but it's very incremental. Like, I think TNA have continued in a good path, but it's at steady progress rather than spectacular. So you kind of look at it and all the other contenders, and it's just like, well, but this is the year that WWE kind of got good at points. And I hate myself for saying that, because I want to hate them. And I don't know how clear I want to be, but like, and again, it's me, and it's the problem with some of these arguments. Sometimes it'll be a wrestling point of view. And then in this case, it's just like, but it's just generally well run and competent. And you can drop into these big shows, know what the storylines are. They appear to be over with the crowd. And in the main, they delivered good stuff. Now, it did taper off, I think, from SummerSlam onwards. Yeah, it's tapered off. But like, that was a hell of a run they were on. Whereas AEW, I felt, left me frustrated for a lot of weeks rather than anything else. MLW, I know for people in the chat, fuck knows with them. God knows where they are.
So it's WWE, but just insert a video of Homer Simpson saying default.
I just want Benno to say it out loud. I need that in my life.
Because Tony Khan's gone on a Barney-style bender, hasn't he? On non-alcoholic beer, and this is what's happened.
But Benno hasn't said it yet. You two have agreed and said it. Come on, Benno. The floor.
Fine. I agree with the majority in the chat. It's Rev Pro, as Don and Liam have said. I agree. You know, great year, developed you know, Leon Slater. Luke Jacobs has had a great year. You know, consistently and undoubtedly the best promotion in the UK. Am I aware? It's not Don's.
I do.
Over to the skate patch that.
in all seriousness, Rev Pro as well. Like they have like they've had a very good year, and they've hit into a good groove with the 229 shows and the Copper Box as well. I mean, and that can't be like in a year where not a lot of companies have they've either not really grown or they've kind of regressed. RevPro didn't. It felt like they kind of expanded and very much solidified. Okay, we are Europe's #1 promotion at this point in time. And I don't even think there's no credible argument that goes against it. How much that means in 2023? I mean, it's kind of slim pickings from the challengers, isn't it?
Boys,
I kind of feel Matthew looking at me.
No, yeah, I am. Benno, I'm staring right through you. I like off X-Men with the laser eyes coming out to me looking.
We just leave a blank in my section.
It's going to be like Ben Kingsley and Sexy Beast, isn't it? That's what we're waiting on.
Just say it, Benno. Just say it, please.
From
I
a
beg
TV
you.
product point of view, I think it's a draw, AEW and WWE, because I think AEW has had higher highs and lower lows. WWE's just been consistent and not necessarily compelling, but has kind of existed through the year. So I can't give it either way there. From a match point of view, which does matter, we did used to be the Grapple Apps podcast, Matthew. It's AEW all day long. Pay-per-views, I think that's kind of split. If it was straight up Booker of the Year, it's Triple H over Tony Khan.
Business, or that's a non-starter, isn't it?
No, I was going to say, if you're going to have any decider, it's business, isn't it? And like Gareth said, you can't argue WWE have had better business than AEW. So definitely, I'll go with that promotion. I agree.
Okay, I'll take it now. But I'm just going to say, could you imagine I was going to say 3 years ago, but even 2 years ago, did you ever think we'd all agree that WWE is with the promotion of any year? I can imagine, boys. I'm sorry. I can only apologise.
Tony sorted out in 2020. I hope he gets a shock, though. I hope like more award shows go like this. And I hope he loses the Observer Awards. He loves to be in that Booker of the Year. He's not going to get it this year. That readership are going to vote for Triple H or Shawn Michaels, who suppose it could get a nod as well from some. Not me, but
he deserves a shout, not for Booker of the Year, but no, he's turned NXT round though. He has turned it. Yeah,
what, by putting the Undertaker on there one week and putting Becky Lynch on there another week.
It beat it the week before. Who
was on it that week?
Only Dirty Dom and Becky Lynch, wasn't it? He wasn't like
only Becky Lynch.
Going against the big Daniel Bryan and John Moxley, these superstars. You know what I mean? Come on, mate.
Here we go.
Let's move on. We've all agreed. Let's move on.
Yeah, Andy says here, slightly biased. We all watch AEW Weekly Power, but no one's watching. That's the promotion of the year that none of us want to watch. There's something to
it's weird. It's gone weird, hasn't it? The whole like.
He can have that. He can have that. At least we're watching him, you know. Even if we're ripping it apart half the time, it's certainly more interesting to discuss for me. But can't argue with numbers, I suppose.